Have you ever felt like you're just endlessly searching for the one, that perfect person who's finally going to make you feel whole and safe and loved? Well, this whole explainer, which is based on Sheleana Aiyana's amazing work, kind of flips that whole idea on its head. What if the person you've been searching for is actually you? Okay, let's dive in.
So the core message here is a really powerful one. It's about making this huge shift from, waiting your whole life to be picked to finally realizing that you have all the power to choose yourself. And this isn't about giving up on love, not at all. It's about building the kind of foundation you need for a love that's actually healthy and real.
To really get this journey, we have to start with the raw, human stuff that shapes us. The author shares this incredibly vulnerable memory. She was just 3 years old, being left by her mother. And that moment, she explains, became a core wound. It was time-stamped on her psyche and would unconsciously just echo through her life and all of her relationships for years to come.
Okay, let's get real for a second. Does this sound familiar at all? You meet someone and all the red flags are there, they're waving like crazy, your logical brain is screaming run, but some other part of you just can't let go, and you find yourself chasing a love that you know deep down is probably only going to lead to more pain.
If you're nodding along right now, please know this. It's not some kind of personal failing. You're not broken. This is a deeply, deeply human pattern. It's a cycle where we get drawn to the exact same dynamics, the same kind of heartache over and over again. And to break that cycle, we first have to understand where it even comes from.
So where do these patterns come from? Well, let's get into the wounds we carry, a lot of the time without even knowing they're there. This right here is the key. Our adult relationships so often become this stage where we subconsciously try to rewrite the past. We don't pick people who are bad for us because we enjoy pain. We pick them because they feel familiar. And that familiarity to our unconscious mind feels like a chance to finally fix an old hurt. And look at this. It's such a powerful example from the author's own life. You can literally draw a straight line from her childhood to her adult relationships. See how the chaos of her mother's rages was just mirrored in the constant explosive fights in her first marriage? Or how her role as a child taking care of her mother just morphed into her being the over-functioning savior as an adult? It's the exact same emotional pattern, just with a different cast of characters.
And this is what the source material calls core emotional themes. Now, I know that sounds a little academic, but just think of them as the emotional soundtrack that's been playing in the background of your life. For the author, that soundtrack was all about abandonment and betrayal. For you, maybe it's feeling unseen or unworthy or like you're just too much. Recognizing your own themes is the very first step to changing the music.
And this quote, this is the turning point. After a really painful separation that felt just like her childhood abandonment, the author had this huge realization. The pain wasn't just about her ex-husband, it was about her past. And most importantly, she realized the power to heal wasn't out there with him, it was inside of her. And that, right there, is where the hope begins.
Okay, so recognizing the pattern is one thing, but how do we actually change it, right? That brings us to the really practical part of this journey, the tools you can use for healing and literally rewiring those old circuits in your brain. Here they are. 4 key methods laid out in the book. It's about learning to connect with and nurture those younger parts of ourselves. It's about finally learning how to set and keep boundaries to protect our energy. It's about reconnecting with the wisdom of our bodies and learning to just observe our thoughts with curiosity instead of being a victim to them.
For this explainer, we're going to zoom in on just one of these because it is such a game changer: somatic or body-based healing. And why is this so important? Because our bodies, they hold on to everything. Past trauma and fear get trapped in our nervous system long after our minds have tried to move on.
This is the key question that somatic work helps us answer. You know that feeling? Your heart's pounding, your palms are sweaty, but is it because of the conversation you're having right now? Or is your body remembering a time, maybe years and years ago, when you felt really unsafe? Learning to tell the difference changes everything.
So let's try a really practical example. This is a simple but incredibly powerful exercise to help regulate your nervous system. By just feeling your feet on the ground, taking a deep breath and sighing it out, and then slowly looking around your space, you're sending your body a very clear message. You're saying, hey, you're here, you're safe right now. It's a practice that helps bring your whole system back to the present moment. So, when you start using these tools, where does it all lead? Well, it leads right here, to the ultimate goal of all this work, becoming your own source of everything you've been looking for in someone else.
Let's be real for a second. The term self-love gets thrown around so much, it can feel totally meaningless, right? But in this context, it's not about bubble baths and affirmations. Though hey, those can be nice. It's about something much, much deeper, more foundational.
It's really about building these 4 pillars inside of yourself. It's about learning, day by day, to create your own emotional safety, to know your worth completely independent of anyone else's approval, to give yourself the love you need, and to be your own anchor when life gets stormy.
And this brings us right back to the beginning. Becoming your own source is the ultimate act of choosing yourself. It's the antidote to that old pattern of self-abandonment. Because when you have these pillars built within you, you stop looking for someone else to build them for you. And that's when you can finally create a healthy relationship from a place of wholeness, not from a place of need.
So, as we bring this to a close, let's make this personal. I've got a final challenge for you, just something to reflect on.
And I mean, really, take a moment with this one. Is it your sensitivity, your ambition? Is it your messy, imperfect human parts? What piece of you have you decided is unlovable until someone else comes along and proves you wrong?
Because that, right there, is the real journey. Not waiting around to be chosen, but choosing to love all the parts of yourself, right now, today. That's the journey of becoming your own one. And it's a journey you can absolutely begin today.